Hey, welcome to the Deep Dive. We're heading into a really interesting topic today, brought to us by you, our listener, based on material you shared.
That's right.
It's about something incredibly common, something that affects, well, nearly all of us as we get older, but also feels surprisingly solvable. We're talking about balance. Specifically, the challenges with balance that women over 60 or 70 often face.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And the information you sent, it highlighted this statistic that just jumped out at me. Doctors estimate 99% of older women will experience some kind of balance issue.
99%. It's huge.
That's practically everyone.
It's a striking figure, absolutely. It shows just how widespread this challenge is. But the key thing from this material, the really sort of empowering part, is that for most people, these issues aren't just inevitable signs of aging. They're often rooted in common, avoidable mistakes.
Things we might be doing without realizing.
Exactly, or not doing. Things that impact stability without us even connecting the dots.
Okay, so that's what we want to explore today. What are these 8 common mistakes the material identifies? Why do they throw us off balance?
Literally. Yeah.
And maybe more importantly, what simple steps, according to this info, can actually make a real difference?
Because, and the source material makes this point really well, balance isn't just about, staying upright.
Right.
It's tied so fundamentally to confidence, to keeping your independence, and, well, ultimately to your safety.
So understanding this is about protecting your ability to move freely.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Navigating the world without fear. It's proactive.
Okay, let's dive in then. Where should we start? Maybe from the ground up.
Exactly. The first common pitfall highlighted is simply wearing the wrong shoes.
Shoes. Seems almost too simple.
It might seem trivial, but think about it. Your feet are literally your foundation.
Okay, yeah. How stable can you be if the base isn't solid?
And what's really interesting from the material is the why. Why our trusty old shoes might actually become a problem.
Yeah.
It points out that our feet change. Arches can flatten a bit. The natural fat pads on the soles wear down.
The cushioning.
Yeah, the cushioning. And also the muscles in our legs and ankles, they just react a little slower.
So the shoes you've worn for years might not be giving you what you need now.
Exactly. They might not offer the right support or stability for those changes.
That anecdote in the source about catching a ballet flat on uneven pavement and nearly falling into a rose bush.
Right.
I could totally picture that. Or the bit about slick-soled slippers at home, nearly wiping out with laundry.
Makes it very real.
It really makes you look down and think, are these helping me or maybe making things worse?
It does. And the guidance is practical. Look for a firm tone. Non-slip is key. Check the wear on them.
Okay.
Good structure, support around the ankle and arch, enough cushioning, and this is crucial, a proper fit. Not too loose, not too tight.
And the material specifically said you don't have to sacrifice style, right? There are good options now.
Absolutely. It pushed back on that idea and the impact it described. Walking taller, feeling more confident.
Not tripping on that rug corner anymore.
Exactly. It seems small, but potentially life-changing, as you said.
Okay, so shoes first was mistake number 2.
Moving up from the feet, the next big one highlighted is skipping strength training.
Okay, this one surprised me a bit. I tend to think of strength training for, well, muscles, not necessarily balance itself.
Yeah, it's a common thought, but what we learn from the source is how directly it impacts stability.
How so?
It explains that we start losing muscle mass, significantly around age 50.
Right, and it speeds up.
And it just accelerates after that, yeah. And this isn't just about lifting heavy groceries, though that's part of it.
Okay.
It's about the basic strength for everyday things, like getting out of a low chair easily without pushing off.
I see.
And even more critically, that muscle strength is what helps your body make those super fast adjustments to stabilize you when you trip or stumble.
The quick reaction.
Yes. Without enough strength, the material says the body can just collapse. It can't catch itself effectively.
Wow. Okay, that connection is clearer now. I like the approach suggested in the source, though. It wasn't intimidating.
No, not at all.
It talked about starting slow, at home, maybe light dumbbells or just body weight.
Right, while watching TV even.
Yeah, like arm curls or wall push-ups, seated leg lifts. Just 10, 15 minutes, maybe 3 times a week.
Makes it feel really achievable.
Totally.
And the benefits described, they go beyond just the physical improvements, like standing easier or carrying things.
What else?
The source really emphasized the mental and emotional boost. It framed strength as being about confidence.
Reclaiming freedom. it said.
Exactly. When your body feels more capable, more reactive, you just feel less fragile, more secure moving around.
Okay, that's powerful. All right, number 3. This involves another sense. Vision.
Yes, ignoring changes in your vision. The link here is absolutely critical, though maybe less obvious at first.
How does eyesight directly affect balance?
Well, our vision gives our brain constant information about where we are in space. It helps us judge distance, spot obstacles, navigate different textures, light, shadows.
Okay.
But as we age, things like depth perception can change. It gets easier to misjudge a step or not quite see the edge of something like a rug.
Until it's too late.
Precisely.
That story shared in the material about falling hard on a knee because they missed a rug edge in a dim hallway at night.
Oof, yeah.
That really brings it home, how a small visual misstep can have a big consequence.
It really does. And the solutions offered are, again, very practical. First, get regular updated eye exams. Make sure that prescription is current.
Seems obvious, but easy to put off.
So easy. And it suggests asking your optometrist specifically about things like anti-glare coatings or lenses that help in low light.
But it wasn't just about glasses, was it? The environment matters too.
Huge factor. The materials stress that poor lighting forces your eyes to work overtime.
Which can make you tired or dizzy.
Yes, exactly. Visual fatigue, disorientation, even dizziness or feeling like vertigo. Simple things can make a big difference.
Like nightlights.
Plug in nightlights in the bedroom, hallway, bathroom, brighter bulbs and lamps or overhead lights. It's about giving your eyes the best possible chance to send clear signals to your brain.
Makes sense. Okay, number 4. This feels like a really common one. Overlooking medication side effects.
Oh, definitely. This is a really big one that the source material specifically calls out as something often just blamed on, getting older.
Right. I just feel a bit off today.
Exactly. But it explains our bodies process meds differently as we age. A dose that was fine for years might be too much now.
On interactions between different meds.
That's a huge issue, too. Interactions between prescriptions, over-the-counter stuff, even vitamins or supplements, they can all add up.
And specific side effects.
Many common meds list dizziness or lightheadedness. The source used blood pressure medication as a key example.
I remember that story. Feeling off balance after starting a new BP med, thinking it was just fatigue. Then stumbling into a coffee table and then finally reading the label and seeing may cause dizziness.
That story just perfectly highlights the main advice. Be your own advocate.
Speak up.
Yes. You know your body best. If something feels off, dizziness, unusual fatigue, lightheadedness, write it down. Don't dismiss it.
And take a list of everything.
Everything. Prescriptions, OTC, vitamins, supplements. Take that detailed list to your doctor or your pharmacist. Be thorough.
And the outcome in that story was so positive. Dosage adjusted, dizziness gone.
Balance improved, confidence returned. It's such a powerful reminder. Don't just assume it's age. Trust your instincts. Read the labels. Ask the questions.
Good advice. Okay, number 5. Grabbing furniture instead of using a cane.
Ah, the furniture walk.
Yeah, that feels like something driven by, I don't know, reluctance, maybe pride, not wanting to seem old.
The material definitely touches on that. It calls that behavior, furniture walking, a real warning sign.
Why is it so bad?
Because furniture, well, it isn't built for support. A chair can tip, a table can slide. It's inherently unstable if you actually lose your balance and put weight on it.
Okay, that's a good point.
And the source directly addresses that common fear or maybe even shame some people feel about needing or using a cane.
I remember this story vividly.
Yeah.
Nearly falling while carrying laundry because hands were full, couldn't grab anything stable.
Yeah, that near miss.
And that led to getting a cane, a stylish one, actually, and feeling this huge sense of relief and surprisingly more confidence.
And that's the core message. Using a cane isn't giving in or admitting defeat.
It's a choice.
It's an active, strong choice for safety, for stability, for peace of mind. It's listening to your body saying, hey, I could use a little help here.
And finding one you like helps.
Absolutely. It can be a positive step, not a negative symbol.
Okay. Mistake number 6 is the one that actually caused the fall in the opening story, right? Avoiding balance exercises.
Exactly. This brings us back to the idea that balance isn't automatic. It's a skill.
And like any skill, if you don't use it,
you lose it. Or at least it weakens. The material explains how ankles can get stiff, core muscles weaken, and the brain just loses that practice coordination.
Those tiny adjustments we make without thinking.
Precisely. They become slower, less effective.
The source mentioned a realization during a community center class where simple movements felt surprisingly shaky.
And that led to incorporating really simple exercises into the daily routine.
Like standing on one leg while brushing teeth.
Yeah, or heel to toe walking down the hallway, shifting weight side to side while holding onto a chair just for support.
So nothing fancy needed.
No fancy equipment, no huge time commitment, just intention. A few minutes, a few times a week.
And the key point was that balance can be retrained, even later in life.
Absolutely. That was a very hopeful message. You can improve it.
And the impact described was feeling more secure again.
Yeah, feeling more secure, stopping that subconscious bracing, feeling confident on uneven ground like curbs or gravel.
Even dancing in the kitchen again.
Right. It brings back that trust in your body, that freedom. And it noted there are tons of free resources too, YouTube, local classes.
Good to know. Okay, number 7. This one might be the most surprising. Not drinking enough water.
Yeah, this one often gets overlooked. It feels so basic.
How does plain old water connect to balance?
Well, even mild dehydration can cause dizziness, confusion, fatigue, that lightheaded feeling when you stand up quickly.
Okay, I can see how that increases fall risk.
Significantly. And the really tricky part, which the source highlighted, is that our sense of thirst actually diminishes as we age.
So you might be dehydrated and not even feel thirsty.
Exactly. You don't get the same signal. And relying on caffeinated drinks like coffee or tea doesn't quite cut it. They can actually contribute to dehydration sometimes.
The story shared was thinking coffee, tea, and a little water was enough.
Not realizing they were getting way less than needed. Less than 4 cups a day, I think it said.
And experiencing headaches, fatigue, feeling woozy, grabbing the wall, and just blaming it on being tired.
Until they connected the dots to dehydration.
So the fix is pretty straightforward.
Surprisingly simple, but requires conscious effort. Track your water intake. Aim for, say, 6 to 8 cups of actual water daily.
Keep it visible.
Keep it visible. Nightstand next to your chair, carry a bottle. Make it appealing if needed. Lemon, cucumber, herbal teas count, broth-based soups too. Just watch the salt and sugar.
The point being, hydration is easy, cheap, and powerful for balance.
Incredibly powerful. A simple protective measure.
All right, last one. Mistake number 8. Living in a fall-unfriendly home.
This is so common because, well, it's home. We get used to our surroundings. We stop seeing the potential hazards.
Things we've navigated for years.
Exactly. But as our bodies change, things like loose rugs, cluttered paths, electrical cords, steps without railings, no grab bars in the bathroom, dim lighting, they become real risks.
What felt normal becomes dangerous.
It can, yeah.
That incident described twisting an ankle on a familiar rug, walked over thousands of times.
Oh, that was the trigger. It prompted looking at the home with fresh eyes, through a safety lens, as they put it.
And they found things everywhere.
Lots of preventable issues. The material listed the actions taken: removing or securing rugs, taping down cords, installing grab bars, bathroom, shower, toilet areas.
Practical stuff.
Very practical. Adding night lights, motion sensor lights, keeping frequently used items at waist height so you're not reaching up or bending down too much.
Using a shower chair. Ensuring stair railings are secure.
Right. None of it sounds like massive, expensive renovations.
Yeah, mostly small adjustments.
Exactly. Yeah. And the core message from the source is so important. Most falls happen at home.
But they're preventable.
The vast majority are preventable with preparation. Adapting your home isn't giving up or babying yourself.
It's protecting independence.
Yes. And gaining peace of mind by making your environment work for you, for your current needs.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of practical information packed into those 8 points. So what does this all mean?
Well, I think it means that these balance issues, while incredibly common, aren't necessarily just an inevitable part of aging that you just have to accept.
Right.
As this material makes so clear, they're often the result of these quieter, modifiable factors, these 8 mistakes that silently chip away, not just at physical stability, but at confidence, freedom, and the ability to live fully.
So there's more control than we might think.
That's the truly empowering message here, I think. You're not powerless. You have agency. You can make changes, often simple changes that make a real difference to your stability.
And taking these steps, addressing these areas, it's not weakness.
Not all. Yeah.
It's choosing safety, choosing to stand taller, literally and emotionally, choosing to keep moving forward with confidence, not fear.
Beautifully put. And maybe if there's one final thought to carry away from this deep dive, it's reflecting on what the source material suggested at the end. Consider how those seemingly small habits, choosing the right shoes, sipping water throughout the day, adding a nightlight, doing a few simple exercises, how they can have these profound, truly life-changing impact.
On safety, independence, peace of mind.
Exactly. It reframes things. It's not weak to be careful. It's wise to prepare. It's brave to choose to face these changes proactively.
That really does shift the perspective. Thank you again to our listener for sharing the material that let us explore this. It's such an important, practical topic.
Absolutely.
As you think about everything we've discussed, maybe just consider which of these points really resonated, or perhaps what's one small change you might think about making this week.
A great takeaway.
Because that's what this is all about, right? Exploring information, gaining insight, and seeing how it can help us all live a more informed and maybe just a bit more stable life. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll be back with more soon.